Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of Reading Rainbow. I'm about to read more of this book from Skyrim. In Skyrim. Oh, I messed up there, didn't I? Plans, he thinks, is the heart of Lorkshin's body that is needed to power the Numidium. While Aaron Arctis is raving about the discovery, the prophecy finally becomes clear to Tiber Septim. This Numidium is what he needs to conquer the world. It is his destiny to have it. He contracts the Unbreaking and says he was right all along. They should kill the tribunal. And they need to get together and make a plan. While the Unbreaking was away, he realized the true danger of Daggith Ur. Something must be done, but he needs an army. And his old one is available again. The trap is set. The Unbreaking arrives and is ambushed by Imperial guards. As he takes them on, Irian Arctis uses a soul gem on him. With his last breath, the Unbreaking's heart roars a hole through the battle mage's chest. In the end, everyone is dead. The Unbreaking has reverted back to ash, and Tiber Septim strolls in to take the soul gem. When the Elder Council arrives, he tells them about the second attempt on his life, this time by his trusted battle mage. Aaron Arctis, who was attempting a coup, he has the dead guards celebrated as heroes, even the one who was blasted to ash. He warns Cyrodiil about the dangers within, but says he has a solution to the dangers without. The Mantilla. The Numidium, while not the god Tiber Septim and the Dwemer hoped for, the Unbreaking was not exactly Lorkin after all. It does the job. After it works on Somerset Isle, a new threat appears. A rotting undead wizard who controls the skies. He blows the Numidium apart, but it pounds him into the ground, with its last flailing leaving only a black splotch. The Mantilla falls into the sea, seemingly forever. Meanwhile, Tiber Septim crowns himself the first emperor of Tamriel. He lives until he is 108, the richest man in history. All aspects of his early reign are rewritten still. There are conflicting reports of what really happened. And this is why there is such confusion over such questions as, why does Alkir claim to be the birthplace of Talos, while other sources say he came from Atmora? Why does Tiber Septim seem to be a different person after the first roaring conquest? Why does Tiber Septim betray his battle mage? Is the Mantilla the heart of the battle mage, or is it the heart of Tiber Septim? Tiber Septim is succeeded by his grandson, Delicius. Delicius is just not of the same caliber. In truth, he's a little nervous with all these previous. Then an advisor shows up. I was friends with your grandfather, the Unbreaking says. He sent me to help you run the Empire. I thought you died. I thought the dude died. Mr. Skeleton, could you believe that? He wasn't dead. What a shock. Is there a soul gem over here? Nope. Story time. Ancestors and the Dunmere. Why does this necromancer have these, by the way? I just now realized that. Why does he have these history books. Ghost walk among them. How many pages is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pages. Holy moly. And this one, the book of whatever, 1, 2, that'd been awesome if it was just 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But it seems shorter somehow. How many pages does this ruined book have? Let's find out. 1. Alright. Arrow was sphere is dusk and dawn, the magic in between realms of twilight, known as Moonshadow, mother of the rose and queen of the night sky. Both the whose sphere is okay, and conspiracy and the secret plots of murder, assassination, treason, and unlawful overthrow of authority. Calvius Vile, whose sphere is the granting of power and wishes through ritual, invocations, and pact. Hermoias Mora, whose sphere is scrying of the tides of fate in the past and future as read in the stars and heavens, and in whose dominion are the treasures of knowledge and memory. Heresian, whose sphere is the hunt, the sport of Dedra, the great game, the chase known as the huntsman and the father of man-beasts. Malakath, whose sphere is the patronage of the spurned, and Astrakid. Oh, that's not an A, that's an O. Ostracized. The keeper of the sworn oath and the bloody curse. Mehrunes Dagon, whose sphere is destruction, change, revelation, energy, and ambition. Mephola, whose sphere is obscured or of 2 mortals, known by the names Web Spinner, Spinner, and Spider, whose only consistent theme seems to be interference in the affairs of mortals for her amusement. Meridia, whose sphere is obscured to mortals, who is associated with the energies of living things. Moloch Ball, whose sphere is the domination and enslavement of mortals, whose desire is the harvest of the souls of mortals and to bring mortal souls within his sway by spreading seeds of strife and discord in the mortal realms. Amiria, whose sphere is the ancient darkness, known as the spirit Dedra, ruler of sun-dry dark and shadowy spirits, associated with spiders, insects, slugs, and other repulsive creatures, which inspire mortals with an instinctive revulsion. Octurnal, whose sphere is the night and darkness, who is known as the Night Mistress. Diriat, whose sphere is the ordering of the lowest orders of oblivion, known as the Taskmaster. Sanjuian, whose sphere is hedonistic revelry and debauchery and passionate indulgence of darker natures. Okay. Timer just went off, which means I'm at the 10-minute marker now. Shograth, whose sphere is madness and whose motives are unknowable. And then, what is that letter? Is that a S? Sardines. And the demon known as Sardines, the fish of the sea. Sarnimia, whose sphere is the realm of dreams and nightmares, and from whose realm issues forth evil omens. So this is just a book of the demons. This might as well be the Necronomicon. I just summoned a whole bunch of demons. Especially marked for special interest under the heading Malakoth, you find a reference to Scorch, blessed by Malakoth and dedicated to the use of mortals. In short, the reference suggests that any Daedra attempting to invoke the weapon's powers will be expelled into the void streams of oblivion. Of the legendary artifacts of the Daedra, many are well known, like Aristar and Sheogorath's Wabajak. Others are less well known, like Skor, Mackin's hammer, Bone of Daedra. Yet though Malakoth blessed Scourge to be potent against his Daedra kin, he thought not that it should fall into Daedric hands, than to serve as a tool for private war among Katif, the Forsaken. Thus did Malakoth curse the device, such that, should any dark kin seek to invoke its power, that a void should open and swallow that Daedra, and purge him into oblivion's void streams. From thence to pathfind back to the real and unreal worlds in the full order of time. Dude, what was this necromancer studying? He was trying to find some kind of Daedra weapon? It would explain the history books, to be honest. He wasn't just any nerd, he was a goth nerd. Huh. There's only one book left that I should read to get the full story of what this nerd was doing. Interesting. So he has a bunch of embalming tools. He was clearly disembodying humans. He was enchanting something. He was trying to make something. That's what I've gathered so far. Human heart? Yummy. I'll take that with me. And let's see why not. Alright, I have a little bit of time left. Let me see how far into this book I can get with the time I have. It's like, what, a 12-page book? Ghosts walk among them, the departed spirits of the Donmir, and perhaps those of all races, priests after death. The knowledge and power of departed ancestor benefits the bloodlines of Donmir houses. The bond between the living family members and immortal ancestors is partly blood, partly ritual. Partly voluntary, a member brought into the house through marriage binds himself through the ritual and oath into the claim and gains communication and benefits from the clan's ancestors. However, his access to the ancestors is less than his offspring, and he retains some access to the ancestors of his own bloodline. The family shrine. Each resident has a family shrine in poor homes. It may be no more than a hearth or alcove where family relics are displayed, and Venreth in wealth. Homes, a room is set aside for the use of the ancestors. This shrine is called the Waiting Door and represents the door to oblivion. Here, the family members pay their respects to their ancestors through sacrifice and prayer, through Oaths sworn upon duties and through reports of the affairs of the family. In return, the family may receive information, training, and blessings from the family's ancestors. The ancestors are thus the protectors of the home, and especially the prescience of the waiting door, the ghost fence. It is a family's most solemn duty to make sure their ancestors' remains are interred properly in a city of the dead, such as Necrom. Here, the spirits draw comfort from one another against the chill of the mortal world. However, as a sign of great honor and sacrifice, an ancestor may grant that part of his remains be retained to serve as part of a ghost fence, protecting the clan's shrine and family's persistence, such as arrangement is often part of the family members. Will that the knucklebone shall be saved out of his remains and incorporated with solemn magic and ceremony into a clan ghost fence. In more exceptional cases, an entire skeleton or even a preserved corpse may be bound into a ghost fence. These remains become a beacon and focus for ancestral spirits and for the spirits of the remains in particular. The more remains used to make a ghost fence, the more powerful the fence is, and the most powerful mortals in life have the most powerful remains. The great ghost fence created by the tribunal to hold back the blight incorporates the bones of many heroes of the temple and of the house in Endural and Reborn, who dedicated their spirits to the temple and clans as their surrogate families. The ghost fence also contains bones taken from the catacombs of Necrom and the many battlefields of Morrowind. The mortal chill. Spirits do not like to visit the mortal world, and they do so only out of duty and obligation. Spirits tell us that the other world is more pleasant, or at least more comfortable for spirits than the real world, which is cold, bitter, and full of pain and loss. Mad spirits. Spirits that are forced to remain in our world against their will may become mad spirits or ghosts. Some spirits are bound to this world because of some terrible circumstances of their death, or because of some powerful emotional bond to a person, place, or thing. These are called hauntings. Some spirits are captured and bound to enchanted items by wizards. If the binding is involuntary, the spirit usually goes mad. A willing spirit may or may not retain its sanity depending on the strength of the spirit and the wisdom of the enchanter. Some spirits are bound against their will to protect family shrines. This unpleasant fate is reserved for those who have not served the family faithfully in life. Dutiful and horrible ancestral spirits often did in the capture and binding of wayward spirits. Alright, so the camera timer is about to end. I can only record 20 minutes at a time. This is actually really interesting. This is explaining a lot of like how I could find some temples with zombies and ghosts and some temples without zombies and ghosts. And this is explaining it beautifully. I'm going to jump back into the story next episode with finishing this, and then I'll get back into exploring the dungeon after that. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see all of you next time.